Hello everybody and welcome to my Craft Around the Clock segment. We're about a minute early. We're just going to wait for Miss Tracy to share us over into the Craft Around the Clock group. So welcome. We're going to be painting a smaller version of this bunny tonight. This one is painted on a 15-inch wood round. We're going to be painting, I think, on a 10. I started base coating him, so don't judge. Okay, so I think this is a 10-inch. So we're going to try and do a smaller version of this guy. Hello, Miss Tracy. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Terry. All right, so this is what he should look like when we're finished. But this one is, like I said, on a 15-inch. We're going to be painting it on a smaller size, and this one will be available as a template tutorial, what have you, on my website in my shop. Sorry. I'm good, Tracy. How are you doing? All right, we're going to set that aside. Stop looking at the finished one, and we're going to get to painting this one. Now, like I said, don't judge, because I did start to try and do a little base coating because it is a little time consuming. So we're going to get right at it. All right, so like I was saying, this is my Craft Around the Clock segment. And if you are not part of Craft Around the Clock, I have left the link at the top of this post. And also, if you are not part of our page, you can follow along with us to see when we go live next and all of the things. All right, and I forgot to say, I'm Yvette from Old Times Paint Parties. I know most of you probably know that already, but if you're new here, that is who I am. All right, so we're going to stop jibber-jabbing about that, and we're going to carry on with our painting. So I'm just using a little bit of burlap to base in my bunny, and he doesn't look like a whole heck of a lot right now at all. Poor guy. Hello, Miss Sue. Hi, Mary Lou. I got your note saying thank you for the Highland. I'm taking it you got your gift for the from the membership group. Is that what you were talking about, Mary Lou? So I'm just putting a second coat on his body with the burlap. These are Deco Art Americana colors that I'm using. Like I said, I tried to get a little bit of this done because it does take a hot minute to get all the colors on. So hopefully we'll see how far we can get in our 45-minute segment. We're here until 9:15, I believe. So I haven't done anything on the background just yet. We're going to paint around him. Not my favorite thing to do, but that's what we're doing tonight. So this is called a Patchwork bunny. I think I named it. It's got little patches all over him. So how's everybody doing anyway? What's the word? Any words? Hello, Sucre. No words tonight. You're very quiet. All just tuning in to watch me base coat my bunny. We'll get to the fun stuff here in a minute. He won't look so patchy once we get this basing in place. I know, Miss Sue. I got an email from them. Oh my goodness, a couple weeks ago, saying they were closing, that to get your orders in if you're going to. But yeah, what are we going to do for good paint supply and brush supply and all the things? Have to source out some new places, I guess. But yeah, that's too bad, but all good things must come to an end, they say. They've been in business for quite a while, though, I'm guessing. I've been ordering from Stockade for years, so, you know, maybe they want to retire. I can't say I blame them there. I want to do that too. All right, second coat getting on there. It's getting a little bit better than my patchy first coat. Hopefully we can make them as cute as the original. Hello, Miss Cheryl. Thanks for joining, everybody. If this is your first time, if you haven't watched us before on Craft Around the Clock, let me know if this is your first time watching. Hopefully it won't be your last time watching. All right. We'll let this dry for a little second here, and we'll move on to a different color to get a second coat on another color while this is doing its thing. But I'm fearing that I'm going to have to have another on here, and I really don't want to spend my whole time base coating. So we got to get crack-a-lackin'. So we're going to put another coat of, this is buttermilk, on his little cheeks. Far too much water in that brush. Sometimes you're more hurry, less speed. You know what I'm saying? You try and be fast about it, and it doesn't end up being that way. Oh, is that what their email said? They've been in business 40 years. Well, I'd say, you know, it's time. It's time. We can't fault them for that. Unfortunate that no one in the family wanted to take it over, I guess. All right. Okay. So the inside of the ears and the nose, I based with some blush pink. So we're just going to put a second coat on there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. If I missed your comments, if you do say anything, don't worry, I will try to go back and look, as usually I peek in there every second or so, but usually I look more so when I'm drying my piece. It gives me a little second to pop in there and see what you've been saying or not saying. So I'm not ignoring you. Trust me on that. All right, pink is in. Now each of these patches and the heart on his chest is a different color as well. But I mean, you could paint those any color you wish. I'm going to use, what did I use? I used a little bit of Summer Lilac, and I don't think that color, it might not be available anymore. So basically, it's just a light purple. And then I used some banana cream. Not quite sure if that color is still available. I have a lot of paint colors that have been discontinued that I like to use up, but it's very close to Baby Duck if you want something comparable or if you don't have that color. And then I used Poodle Skirt Pink for the other patch. And we're going to be filling those in here in a second as well. I'm just using up this burlap that I have on my plate to give it another little swish on here. Oops. Let's see if I can get that off. Okay, we're going to be covering that background too. I mean, you can switch up colors. You don't always have to use what I use, but you can. But I mean, it's good to change things up every now and then. All right, I needed to put a little more burlap on my plate because this little guy's a little fadey down here. We like to have good coverage on our base coating because it will show through there if it's not done well. And we don't want to shirk him on his color. I swear, we're going to get to the fun stuff, ladies. We are. And the fun stuff being shading and, you know, making him actually look like what we need him to look like. All right, so patches. This one up here, I actually used, I believe I used Sage Mint, excuse me. I love this color for the patch up here. I forgot that color to tell you. So this one was Sage Mint. Let's flip around so I don't get into wet paint. Or try not to get into wet paint. Okay. And then we have our banana cream. And there's two patches on here that are banana cream. One being on his head. We'll cover up that little mistake I made on the patch there. I tried to turn it into body part, but that was an accident. It was a little faux pas there. So this one is yellow, and then this one down here on his paw is yellow. Hi, Miss Karina. All right, this one over here was Poodle Skirt Pink, and then I have this, you can see this is an old bottle of Summer Lilac, and it's just about gone, so this makes me happy because I get to use up, ooh, see, it had a paint booger in there. I get to use up paint that's been kicking around, and I hate to waste it, so that's why it makes me happy. All right, and then the pink one was again poodle skirt pink. I think I mentioned that a couple times. And then the heart I based in with, I think I used a little bit of the blush pink on that as well. I mean, you could use red, you could use, you know, a different pink or the same pink as this patch. Doesn't really matter. Sorry for all the spinning. I'm just trying to get this basing on here without getting my hands into all this wet paint that we have going on here. All right, our colors are coming in. All right, so I'm going to do his little heart on his chest with some of that blush pink. We'll just, you know, it's here. We might as well just use this color. And then while all that is having a little dry, we're going to fly right into the background, and I'm going to show you how I painted that. So typically I don't paint around things. I will usually put out my background first, but I didn't on this one. So we're going to show you how we did that. So I have a little bit of winter blue and a little bit of white. And I'm just going to grab a flat brush and kind of dip into the two of those. And I'm just going to, I want more white than blue. So I'm just going to kind of slip slap that color in there on that background. So we have a little mixture of both. So depending on how dark you want the background to be, just add a little more white to your paint if you want it lighter. And a little more blue if you want it darker, which makes sense, I guess. So I just kind of, like I said, slip slapped it because I didn't want it to, I wanted it to be a little bit, you know, marbly look, I guess is the word. This is one of my favorite ways to do backgrounds so that they're not just solid colors. So we're going to try and get in this tiny little spot in here without making too much of a mess. And try to get as close to your bunny as you can. I did leave a little bit of a gap there. I'm not sure if I'm liking this winter blue. I want it to be a bit lighter. It's okay, we're going to go with it. As I'm looking at it, it looks like I think I steered wrong. That looks like more like a Laguna or something I used. It's okay, we're going to go with this color. We're too far in now. We've committed. Or I have committed. Or I should be committed. I don't know. I don't know, girls. I don't know. All right, let's grab some for over here and get that on there. And then we're going to give this a good drying, the whole thing. Where are we at here? kind of get in that tiny little space in there a little bit, so we have some hint of blue in between there. All right, almost there, almost there. You know, even though the smallest of projects, you think they're going to be quick, but sometimes. Okay, let's give this all a good dry. Okay, get some drying action on here. Oh, did you sell your sloth pick? Oh, that's good, Terry. That is good. He was a cutie. Thank you for answering, Terry. Yes, it was burlap. All right. So I did want to mention too, if you're in my membership group, you will get this line drawing added to. I'm going to add the video and all of the goodies to the hub in the bonus projects for you. So don't worry about purchasing this if you're a member of the group. You will get this one added on in. Okay. Get that out there before we get too much further here. So also the little dots in the background, I just used some poodle skirt pink. I, for the big one, used this bigger sponge, but I have a smaller one here, a little finger one that I'm going to use on this smaller version for my little dots. And I like these little finger cots because, or these little round sponges, because to get a perfect circle sometimes is, you know, slim to none. So we're just going to add our little polka dots in here on the background. And with these sponges, if you kind of just lay them down and then give them a little twist, you can get your sort of perfect dot shapes. And these are just random. I mean, you can put these dots wherever you like. You can add an extra one there. And then our background should be pretty much complete, and then we can finish up our bunny. Enough messing around. Like so. So that's basically how I did the background, but in a smaller version. All right, let me just clean that sponge out a little so we can move on. You're welcome, ladies. You're welcome. All right, let's get down to business. So we can start to do a little shading now and make our bunny come alive. We have a few minutes left yet, so let's get at it. So I'm going to use a little bit of burnt umber, and this is to shade my bunny body parts. So we're just going to get our angled brush out. We're going to get a little bit of that on there, and I'm going to start here at the base of his ear. Get some down there. And I'm just throwing that on there. And we're going to go along each side of the pink centers on that little bottom edge on either side. And almost immediately you can see the changes starting to happen when you start to do the shading. Okay, and then also I want to go around those patches. So we need to get a little bit on here. And all of this just gives your painting a little bit of depth, a little bit of dimension by adding these shades. That other one. Okay, we'll just keep moving on down his body. So we're going to go along this edge of his face, right above that buttermilk area, and then over his nose. Clean up my little edge there. I went a little too far. And then we have under his neck here, we have his mouth down here as well. So I'm going to go under here first. You with me so far? Did you fall asleep? Have I bored y'all to death? I'm just kidding. So we're just going on the outer edge of each of those little feet. And then we have his mouth on here too, which you can't see right this second because it's the same color as his body. But when you shade under it, it kind of pops right out there. Okay. So far, so good. All right, so then we want to go down here, and I'm going to go along the bottom edge of his feet first. I'm trying to stay out of wet paint here. I might not be successful. So let's do those bottom edges of the feet first. And I'm also going to do along the bottom edge of his body right here on that edge of that board. Like so. And then you can come up the sides here on his feet. Okay, so let's give this a dry while I'm checking over here. Not sleeping good. All right, concentrating hard. Good, good. Thank you, Jan. Yes, the bunny in the robe is cute. He's all up in there for you, ready and waiting for you. He's in the hub already. All right, so we're going to go around this heart a little bit. We're still doing a little bit of burnt umber work here. And we're going to go around those patches. So let's not forget this one. And then we have these ones down here on the feet. Okay. His little muzzle, we're going to use a little bit of that burlap to shade that. So we're going to go right down along the edge of his cheeks. Up that little center area. We can go around the nose a bit there too. Okay. And then for our patches. So this green one, I'm going to use a little bit of bluegrass green to shade the edge of that. Where are we for time? We got 14 minutes. So we're just going to go along the edge, not along the top edge, just these three sides, bottom and sides. So that's that one. And then the purple one, which I think I want to add a little bit more purple to this before we shade this one. Let me just do that first and we'll move on to the yellow ones. And same as this yellow one here where I accidentally tried to paint it as a bunny. Okay, so yellow one, we'll start down here. I'm going to use a little bit of antique gold. Hello, Miss Kelly. Saw you pop on out of the corner of my eye there. So the yellow ones, we're going to do this. There's only two sides on this one, so we're going to do those two bottom sides, the antique gold. For heaven's sakes, I'm more hurry, less speed, man. All right, and we'll do this yellow one. So there's three sides on this one we're going to do. Bottom and two sides. Nice. The pink one I did shade with a little bit of wild berry, and we're also going to shade his heart and inner ears and nose with the wild berry all at the same time. We're going to do it all together. All right, so let's get the patch first. So there's two edges on this patch. We're like power shading right now. And then the ears, we're going to go along this bottom edge and then the left side of the ear, inner ear. So along this left side and then a little bit on that bottom edge. You're going to do the same thing on this one, but on the right side. And along that bottom edge. Nose, we're going to do along each side just to the, and then to that point. You see how he's starting to come alive right in front of your very eyes? It looks so much different from when we started. All right, and then this little heart on his chest, we're going to do the left side of this little point. And then we're going to come in here on this side here. Okay. And now we can go ahead and shade that purple patch. And I used some royal purple to shade that one. So far, so good. We are doing okay. All right. So we have the three sides of this patch to shade. All right. So as for highlighting, we're going to use a little bit of white, and the inner ears on this opposite side, we can put a little bit of white in here. Always got to have a highlight. You can also, highlight, let me get some of that off of there, along the top edge of the ear itself. Same as this one, we can put a little white highlight over here. And then down this top edge of the ear. Do the top edge of his head. Now this is the little bit of a, quicker version of painting this guy because we are on a time limit. So, I mean, you don't have to paint yours near as fast. You can take your time. Just for the sake of trying to get it all in here for you, I'm trying to go a little quicker. So we can highlight that bottom edge of his chin, top edge of his nose. This is all in white. Like so. And then also the patches. You can, that top edge, I left it plain because I wanted to add a little highlight on here. And we can add it now because, we're going to put a little, you can add some details to your patches too. We're going to put some stripes and things on here. Okay. All right. So as for liner work on the patches, I didn't do anything too crazy. This one here, I just kind of put a white check. So we just did some lines literally this way and then this way. And you can do these, any way that you choose to do. I put some purple lines on this one in the original, but I think I'm just going to do this. And then I did some dashed lines too on this one up here alongside that plain line. So again, it's just a matter of whatever you're feeling at the moment. You can, put whatever you want on there. So I'm using a little bit of the bluegrass green on the yellow one. I'm going to do the same thing down here on this yellow one. And then I put some curly cues on the pink one. And I'm just going to do it in white. Again, you could do it in any color you like. My curly cues aren't cooperating very well. I don't want that one there. And then when I outlined those, I used a little bit of black to outline pretty much everything on here. But on these little patches, when I outlined it, and I just want to show you this part in case we don't get to it, I put like little stitch lines around the patches after I lined them. So I just want to show you that. Little stitch lines. So I don't know how well you can see those, but we're going to do more of that with the other ones as well. So we need some eyes, some whiskers, and I'd like to get those on there before we depart. So let's bring my line drawing over, and trust me, this line drawing is super rough, so no judgment. Yours will be lovelier than this one. This is really a rough version. All right. So for the eyes, we're just going to fill in with some black. We want our guy to see before, you know, we're finished here in a few minutes. We got 5 minutes. So with this template, you'll get a full color photo and the template, of course, but it will be for the 15-inch, not this smaller one. You'll get the 15-inch line drawing, so you can put it on a larger round, like the big one that I did. And I think I may add the color list of what I used as well. But it will be, I will post the link once I get it on there. Okay. I'm only doing it so fast, Janet, because I'm running out of time, because I want you to see the different parts here. All right, so I'm going to give him some little eyelashes. I'm going to give him some eyebrows first. Let's give him a couple little eyebrows. And then I'm going to give a few, I'll put 3 on here, each side. And we'll put a couple little eyelashes down here at the bottom. And then we're going to finish that center of the eye. So we're going to get that in here. So on this left side, add that little bit of white. And then on the right side of this one, sorry, I'm spinning around there. Okay, and then I think that one's a little lighter. It's bugging me. Okay, and then he looks a little cross-eyed right now, but we're going to add some dots. And then once you add the dot, it's like all of a sudden, whoa, you can see. It's amazing. The little dot highlight is just makes them be able to see. Anyways, we're going to give him some whiskers before we run out of juice here. So I have my burnt umber on my liner, and I'm just going to put a few little whisker marks there. We're also, I'm going to grab a little bit of that pink on my brush here. We're going to give him a little bit of a pink cheek. Trying to squeeze in all the steps before we got 2 minutes. Woohoo! Okay, so whiskers. I get a little white on my liner, and I'm just watering it down because it will come off my brush a little better when it's inky. A little bit inky texture. All right, we're going to give them 3 whiskers on each side. So we'll start here. Now they might fade out on this background a little bit, so we just got to add another little coat there. And then we'll put one down here, bring it down on his paw. Okay. I'd say we're darn close to done. I think the only thing that I haven't done, and I would kind of liked them a little bit off kilter like this, and I think I would put a bow right here. But the only thing that's left to do, really, and I think we did pretty well, is to outline them with a little bit of black. So, I mean, until the clock turns 9:15, which it might while I'm talking, I'm just going to do that. I literally just took my black, and if you had a Posca pen and you are not comfortable, it's 9:15 now. If you're not comfortable using the liner brush and the black paint. Grab a fine liner Posca pen. You're away to the races. But there we go. There he is. Here's our big one. I'm going to zoom back a little bit here, and then we're going to sign off so we don't encroach on other people's time. So there's our big one. Here's our little one. There he is. Turned out pretty darn cute. There you go, ladies.